We're going to look at the retail scene this morning in Dalton, Georgia, how it's changed over the years, and how some players in Dalton have really transformed into a different breed of retailer. I'm with Rick Myers. He is with Myers Carpet in Dalton, actually one of the first, if not the first, retail store to open up here in Dalton. That's true, isn't it?
That is true. My father, Gene Myers, started Myers Carpet in 1957, so this past July started our 56th year in business here in Dalton.
Son of a gun. Now, the whole scene has certainly changed a good deal since 1957. Carpet is not the growth product that it was then. What kind of a place was it back, even years since then, even 20 years, 30 years since then?
Yeah, I was 5 years old when Dad started, but, I worked there during the summers in college and different things, but, the one thing I've learned about business is just constant change. It changes every year. I came here in 1984, so I've been here for 30 years at Myers Carpet, but when I first came here, I remember picking up the Dalton phone book, and I counted one day 130 carpet outlets in Dalton, Georgia, back in the late 80s. I looked at it today just thinking about that, and there was less than 50 carpet retailers here now. So
isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
But that was a day when not only did consumers drive across the country, crossing several states to come here to buy carpet, but retailers did the same thing, would come here, buy carpet from another retailer, acted as a distributor, I suppose.
Yeah, we had certain lines, and back in the late 70s, 80s, different retailers had specific lines that they protected you on and nobody got. And ours was Evans and Black, so my father was the largest Evans and Black dealer in the state of Georgia, but different retailers in town that didn't have that product that got calls on it, we'd broker stuff back and forth, and we didn't have Philadelphia, we didn't have Galaxy, we didn't have those certain lines that other people, Beckler's and Carpets of Dalton, different people had, so we all brokered carpet back and forth back in the day, but that's changed drastically, and nobody's protected anymore, and most people can get the lines that you have.
Are there brokers at all? I mean, do people broker amongst each other?
Yeah, especially, we've had discussions before. Myers Carpet made a decision years ago to try to separate ourselves from everybody, and we decided to go higher end. So we do have certain lines that nobody else can get that other people get calls on. But Dalton has changed in the fact that it used to be Shaw, Mohawk, and Beaulieu and the main lines, and there used to be a lot of them, White Crest and Galaxy and Aladdin and different ones, and they've slowly merged into 3 or 4 huge companies. But Dalton has evolved in the past several years to have high-end products. Dalton's a natural place to distribute carpet out of with its trucking lines and the heisters and the forklifts and the way it's set up already for carpet. So all of these importers have moved to Dalton. Godfrey Hirst, for instance, is the largest wool carpet company in the world, and it's manufactured in Australia, and its distribution center is 4 or 5 miles down the road. So it's just as easy to get for me as Shaw or Mohawk. Calhoun's developed into Stanton and probably 10 or 12 other high-end importers that distribute, a couple of exits down the street. So this high-end product that we made a decision to develop and become our brand is now just as available as Shaw and Mohawk and Beaulieu.
That's interesting. Now, you made the shift. Well, let's back up a minute. As the internet came down, as carpet wasn't the growth product that it was up until the 80s, really, 70s, 80s, everything's changed here. Fewer players, as you mentioned in the phone book. 50 is still a whole lot of stores for one town, but everybody has changed. I don't think a whole lot of people have moved towards the high end like you have, though.
But you were right. Years ago, people from Alabama and Kentucky and South Carolina would show up at your front door with a huge truck, and you'd things would leave our building that you couldn't imagine would get them home, padding 20 feet up in the air, strapped on with ropes and this and that. But people would do that to save $500 then. But of course, as this developed, that has gone away a lot. But, things like Google and the computer industry, the computer presence has made up for some of that. For instance, we have a person that works full-time here that does nothing but put product up on the internet, pictures of Stanton products and Godfrey Hirst products and Maslin products, and people can look at stuff and shop at home, and then if they see something they're interested in, we can either send them a sample from here or have the manufacturer, Maslin or whoever, send them a sample, and so that has made up for some of it, but not all. Because we went high end, have all three of our stores, Nashville, Atlanta, and Dalton, have workrooms. So we produce rugs. So we serge and bind and make leather wraps and all kinds of stuff, wide canvas binding for sisal and seagrass. But we are doing that now for 5 or 6 different importers, like Kuristan, for instance, or Godfrey Hirst, or Design Materials out of Kansas City is a sisal company, the biggest, importer of seagrass and sisal in the country, and we make custom rugs for them. So labor is something that has made up for that retail customer not coming to Dalton as much as it did in the past. So.
And you do rugs not only in this operation, but in the two other, the Nashville and Atlanta operations.
But the other 2 stores are 100% retail, and we have a rug list of rugs that need to be made, and it could be 100 to 120 rugs on that list any day of the week. But those are all retail at the other stores. Here, we are making custom rugs for vendors that we do business with.
Very interesting.
So that's made up for some of the lost business on retail.
I see. Getting back to the whole retail scene here in Dalton, it wasn't so many years back, prior to the internet, the retailers that you mentioned here were selling carpet through 800 numbers.
Right.
And you'd see ads in the back of magazines. That was quite a business back then.
Yeah, we used to advertise, for instance, in Southern Living. We had an ad and we put our 800 number and people would call us, but that's changed. I mean, all the retailers still have 800 numbers, but it's not as prevalent as it used to be.
Yeah. Now, would you say virtually each one of the 50 retailers that you found in the Dalton phone book recently are in the internet sales business?
Yeah, I mean, I think to have a successful carpet store in Dalton, you would have to have a presence on the internet. And we're constantly looking at everybody's to see what they're doing, if it's working for them, seeing if our website lacks something, we're just constantly looking at other people's too.
What's the secret there? You have to find a particular product that everybody wants and just take advantage of that for the time period that you may have a unique situation.
But the look of the website's important. The being able to navigate it's important. You've got a list of all your vendors, and quite often you can link, say, a Maslin with their whole website. You can, with a touch of a button, you can see all of their products they have available to sell, and that's helpful to a retailer.
But your unique thing here in Dalton, it is a high end. There's not a whole lot of people doing what you're doing, are there?
Yeah, I mean, we are stocking more high-end wools and sisals and seagrass and those sort of things. So we have a brand, and we've developed it over many years. Like I said, we've been in business 56 years. In the last probably 12 to 15, we've consciously pushed in that direction to be the highest end, the best. Wool carpet's probably only about 2% of the whole market, but gosh, it's a lot more fun to sell a 15-foot piece of Belgium woven wool than it is a roll of cheap Olaf and Berber. It's more profitable and it's a lot more fun.
I hear you. Is a designer from Des Moines, Iowa, likely to call you up or send you an order over email, and you do that kind of business? Yeah, I mean,
in 56 years, we do obviously have some repeat business and some, people calling us back year after year, but our internet site makes it available for people, all over the country,
Yeah.
all over the world to look at things. We ship stuff to Manhattan, 5 or 6 times a year to New York City. I mean, it's a national market.
Well, it would seem like you would be a heck of a find for a designer in New York or any place else, for that matter. And you send the samples out, and there's not really, and I guess like you say, they get to know you and know that you're going to do.
Well, retailers all over the country have despised carpet retailers in Dalton, Georgia. They've complained about them and disliked them, but we're just competitive. We sell a volume of a product, and we have competitive prices.